This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. I've been super active over there as of late. What a game, man. This is the type of game the Rays needed. It's been a rough kind of few 4 or 5 days. Not a lot of high morale around the team. And then we see a glimpse into the future tonight. It was just one of those fun games. I hope anyone that was at Steinbrenner had a good time there because it looked like a whole lot of fun. We're going to talk about how Adrian Houser was cruising until the 7th inning. And like I just said, there's a peek into the future tonight. A lot of pieces that the Rays want to have in 4 or 5 years down the line showed up and showed out tonight. We talked about yesterday. When the Rays hit home runs, they win the games. They haven't been hitting home runs the last 4 games. Today, obviously, they hit 4 of them, and some behemoth home runs at that. 16 hits for the Rays as well. Then we're going to look ahead to see if they can win a series. But first, we got to talk about Carson Williams, and we got to talk about how he came to the rescue.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Carson Williams just looks so comfortable all night. Like even his first at bat, he's smiling, gets on base, scores from Tristan Gray. Shout out Tristan Gray, man. He has been putting the bat on the ball recently. I expect him to get another start tomorrow. He had another 2 hits, including just a behemoth home run, 2 for 3, a walk. I mean, he's put together a lot of really good at bats for the last game and 2 games and a half. So shout out Tristan Gray. And then we see him get his first hit, first RBI. And then he keeps going and going and going, makes some good plays in the field. Again, he just looks comfortable out there. That's the sense I got from his first at bat. Him and Bobby Seymour both looked extra comfortable. I thought when Seymour was in San Francisco, he did not look comfortable. I thought he was pressing a little bit. Yesterday, you started to see finally starting to look comfortable. And today, again, you see the comfort level go up for Seymour. But we got to see Carson Williams show up and show out, especially in that 7th inning after the Cardinals. Of course, they made it close, right? It's been the Rays just can't have a complete win. And then Carson Williams comes up and just puts the Rays right back on top. And that's how we get to our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
It's a big boy swing from Carson Williams, man. I mean, that shows the power. That shows why everyone's so excited about him. You saw in a little, 1-game blip why not only the Rays, but the whole organization, the whole fan base, a lot of the people in the league are so excited about Carson Williams. When you go and hit a ball at dead center field for your first ever home run, when you show the defensive promise like he did tonight as well, the glove was always MLB ready. But when he hits a home run 410 feet, 105 off the bat for his first ever home run, that's some big time stuff, man. I mean, it is something that you expected when he came up. And then you see Junior right after do the same exact thing. You're like, wow, that's the left side of the infield for the next decade, hopefully, fingers crossed. And obviously, this was kind of best case scenario for Carson Williams. As a guy still hit 213 in the minors this past year before coming up. Man, I mean, you saw why he was the number 7 overall prospect in baseball, man. And you love when a kid comes up and right away he looks comfortable. It's tough being comfortable in your first ever MLB game. It is. And he looked comfortable. He has his whole family there. I'm sure that helped. But, man, it's just what a performance from him. And that's why he's our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Just so happy for Carson Williams. So happy for Rays Nation to get a win like this after there's been so much negativity around this team. And rightfully so, man. You win 3 in a row, and then you immediately lose 4 in a row. You're 6 out of the wild card, 7 out right now, depending on what happens in the Mariners game. But, you're not really focusing on the playoffs. You're focusing on what can you take into next year, right? And if the Rays can, win a few games in a row, make things interesting, so be it. But, you take those kind of secondary if you can figure out more of your roster going forward for next year. But let's talk about how it was a peak in the future. Because, man, that ball that Junior hit, I only ended up going 426, 111 off the bat. I never thought the ball was going to land. I mean, that hit off like the top of the batter's eye. I mean, Junior has just been insane. And he does this while he's been slumping lately. I say that he's been slumping lately, and his one hit yesterday was like 116 off the bat. The one today was a 111 off the bat. I do feel like that Junior is reaching too much with his bat, trying to get to those off-speed pitches. We're just calling him to roll, causing him to roll over a lot. But yeah, Junior and Carson Williams, man. Hopefully we hear those names called for many more home runs in the future. So super happy for Carson Williams. Now he gets to go into an off day tomorrow, the weird Saturday off day, guys. I mean, it was weird. But, of course, the Rays could never have nice things, right? It was the bullpen kind of imploding. Griffin Jacks, a lot of home runs, man. The Rays need to chill on giving up all these home runs. They gave up another 2 tonight. Just 2. Yeah, I thought it was more. Gave them another 2 home runs tonight after giving up a few yesterday as well. But let's talk about the rest of the offense because they collected 16 hits. Chandler Simpson, a professional hitter, 2 for 5. The average up to 304. You go to Brandon Lowe, had that big home run. I mean, that home run, talking about home runs that may never land. That Brandon Lowe home run was just massive, massive, massive. Then you go to Jake Mangum, 4 hits. He looks like himself again. Another guy went through the little slump, right? He defends at an elite level, and his bat to ball discipline, as long as it's not a high fastball, is at an elite level. I mean, he got the double righty, 3 hits lefty. I mean, that was peak Jake Mangum right there. Talk about Carson Williams, talk about Bobby Seymour. Again, even though he just went 1 for 4, he continues to put a lot of really good swings on the ball, including his one that ended up being a line out. And then Tristan Gray, can't say enough good things about him. And he hits the ball hard, Tristan Gray does. When you look at his exit velos during this little stretch that he's on, I mean, today alone, he had one at 105 that ended up being a fly out. His home run ended up being 108 on a single. His home run, let's see if I can find it, was 96. I mean, this guy hits the ball hard, and he's been hitting the ball hard for a little bit now because in the game yesterday, his average exit velo is in the 92nd percentile, according to Baseball Savant. So we've been seeing that recently. He's been putting the bat on the ball a lot, and it is good to see from a guy that the Rays honestly need some offense out of because of the way that their lineup was configured. When you look at this lineup, Chandler Simpson starting the minors, Junior, Brandon, Josh Lowe were all here at the beginning. Jake Mangum starting the minors, Hunter Fiducia, minors, Evan Pereira, minors, Carson Williams, minors, Bobby Seymour, minors, Tristan Gray, minors, right? I mean, these are some guys that the Rays were not expecting to contribute. Some of them weren't a part of the organization when the season started, but they're taking their opportunity and they're running with it. We're going to talk about how Adrian Houser performed. I thought his outing ended up being better than what his stat line showed. We're going to talk a little bit more about how when the Rays home run hit homers, it correlates into wins. And we're going to look ahead to see how they can get a series win on Sunday. But first, after this. This episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings back the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power you through the day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion delivers a clubhouse flavor flavor you love without ever leaving the green. So, again, thankfully, we've been talking about this. No more late nights with the Rays the rest of the season. But still, 10:30 start time on a weekday, even though today's Friday, is not the easiest. So 5-Hour Energy can make sure you guys are up and ready for the postcast. And it's all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the Bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, or enter a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit FIVE-H-E-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Exclusive Masters Tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. So if you guys are in the live, make sure you leave a like and comment. We'll be getting to them momentarily. Adrian Houser, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And until he went out for the 7th, that line would have been, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned. And I thought he was really good. He's in the zone. He did walk a few people, but his stuff looks sharp. There wasn't a ton of high exit velo outs for the Cardinals. They had a few. They had 2 at 105 actually, but you had a lot of soft contact for the Cardinals. A bulk of their at bats end up in balls 92 miles an hour and lower, which is kind of what you want to see if you are a pitcher. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Rays do with Houser because he's basically a rental, right? He's a guy that is a free agent after this year. I'd like to see the Rays kind of work out a deal with him and get him back, but we will see what happens there. But let's get to the game. Not tomorrow. The Bucks have a preseason game tomorrow, but on Sunday. And it's going to be Matthew Liberatore. He used to be in the Rays system, and he has been starting for the Cardinals for all of this year. He started a little bit last year, ended up being a bullpen guy last year. He actually pitched a few games against the Rays, I remember. But transition that starting role, he's 6-10 with a 4.1 ERA. He's given up 3 runs his last 2 starts, but before that, he's really good. Only 2 earned, 1 earned. He's a guy that since July has not gone past 5 innings. So some of that is to walks. He's had outings with 4 walks, 2 walks, 2 walks, 5 walks. But before that, he was going deep, fairly regular. But just like any pitcher, he's had his ups and downs. He's gotten 6 scoreless, 6 innings, 1 earned, 7 innings, 1 earned, 6 innings scoreless. So still a guy that the Rays should be able to have some success off of. He is a lefty. So we finally get to see a Christopher Morel game, actually. But, he's a lefty, which sucks because, I want to see Tristan Gray get some more at-bats because not only him, like Brandon Lowe continues to swing good, and I'm saying Brandon Lowe won't play. But, like Josh Lowe had a really good game today, and which was much needed for Josh Lowe. Good to see him get some confidence going. And, Josh struggles against lefties. Tristan Gray is not going to play against a lefty. I'd love to see these guys kind of get the momentum rolling. And, the Rays get an off day. It's a tough day to have the Rays get an off day after they performed so well today. But again, the Rays should be in a position to win because Ryan Pepio's on the mound for the Rays. And these past 2 outings, he's been rock solid and then gives it up a little bit. So hopefully he finds a little bit more of that consistency because when he's on, he's really freaking good. So let's hope that we can get another strong outing out of him. Let's get to the comments. We'll start with Jack's takes. It's finally a feel-good night. The big story for me is Josh Lowe finally putting together a night of hits. More, please. Yeah, and it's those gritty hits. It's the infield hits. And then the walk, and then he laces one down the line for a double. So good to see Josh Lowe. Hopefully this can propel him to a really good last 33 games left in the season now, which is sad. But still, as we go to Gary, he says, seeing Carson Williams in his first major league game get an RBI single at first at bat, then hitting a 2-run home run with absolute joy to the face of his family. Great highlight for the Rays season. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. It's a great highlight for the Rays season. And look, second half of the season hasn't had a ton of highlights, so we'll take any that we can get. As we said, this game reminded me why I love the Rays. That's a great comment. I am very much in agreement, man. That's why you love baseball. It's one of those feel good games. Good. I love Lakers. Good evening. Glad we got this much needed W. I am as well. Just love to see kind of making progress as we go to Southpaw. Bilal and Junior does their thing, but I think Carson set a fire under the Rays. He's so smooth at shortstop, and guess what? He didn't strike out. Wouldn't that be funny if Carson ended up being the shortstop of the future? Yeah, or ended up not striking out. Yeah, he's a guy that had a high strikeout rate. That's kind of well documented in the minors. But sometimes you need this little jolt of energy, right? The top prospect comes up, and not only comes up and shows out. Which again, it could be the little jolt, the jolt that the Rays needed. As we have Doug Batista, he says, "What's your take on Griffin Jack's ERA now over 5?" Some of that is unlucky. Now the home run today was not unlucky, but the home run against who was it? The Yankees was his last outing because I don't think he pitched yesterday. Did he pitch yesterday? But he gave it like a short porch home run. The stuff is there, and he's been one of the more unlucky pitchers in the majors this year. So my thought is I think he can still be one of the best relievers in baseball, like he's shown. And I think next year when we get him for a whole season, we're more apt to see that. It was the Yankees, but since he's been with the Rays, he actually has a 6.7 ERA. But he went through a stretch where he was really good. 3 of those runs came in Seattle on the Cal Raleigh home run. Outside that, he's only given up 2 runs before this game. So yeah, I mean, look, he struggled a little bit, but this is something that I'm not overly concerned about. Look, the Rays bullpen sets up really well for next season. Clevenger, Fairbanks, Uceta, Jax, Brian Baker. I mean, those are 5 guys you really trust kind of in any spot. So I'm very high on this Rays bullpen going into next season. So if you guys have any more comments, make sure you get them in. Also, make sure to leave a like. No game tomorrow. The Bucks play the Bills in a preseason game. So we get a weird Saturday off day. I don't ever remember the Rays having a Saturday off day, but right back Sunday. And then the Rays go to Cleveland. So while waiting for some more comments to get in, we'll look ahead at the Rays' schedule real quick. So they wrap up against the Cardinals tomorrow. Then they go to Cleveland for 3, then Washington for 3, then home against Seattle, home against Cleveland. So, they play a lot of teams that are ahead of them in the wild card. So, I'm not saying the Rays are going to make a run, but if they wanted to make a run, or not if they wanted to, if they were to make a run, this kind of stretch would be it. But so the game tomorrow, and then, the pitching matchups kind of go a little bit in the Rays' favor, except for the first game with Tanner Baby going for Cleveland. But, obviously for Washington, they avoid Mackenzie Gore, who's been really, really good for them. And so it'll be interesting to see what the Rays can do there. As I love Lego says, I wonder what the Rays would do with Kim. They don't really have much of a choice. It's either he opts in or he hops out, and he's probably going to opt in. And I'll be interested to see what a full season of Ha-Seong Kim looks like. It, may be a good thing. He barely played this year because he was hurt a lot of the year. I think he could be a plus player next year, but hopefully he gets through the offseason healthy and he provides some value. So maybe picks up the option, the Rays trade him. You never really know the Rays operate, but I have full trust in Eric Nylander in this front office, and with new ownership coming in, I'll be interested to see what the Rays do. But we will wrap it there, everyone. I appreciate everyone for hopping in. A super excited night with the Rays. Carson Williams Jr. received a glimpse in the future. Some mammoth home runs by all the Rays players, 16 hits, and the Rays get a much needed W. So again, I appreciate all you guys for watching, and I will see you guys Sunday, not tomorrow, Sunday afternoon.